And after going to a million holiday events with family and friends and having to fake it and put on a brave face, I just want to invite you to take a breath and take your mask off. There is no hiding or pretending with your Creator, with God. He knows. He knows what you're struggling with. He sees you and He knows what you need in a way you may not even be aware. So what I also want to invite you to do as you continue to just breathe a little bit more slowly and a little bit more deeply, calm your breath, calm your heart rate down. What I want to invite you to right now is to ask the question, what is it that I need right now? In the United States, we tend to live this super, super fast-paced life. And I know there's listeners that will hear this episode from around the world. So if this doesn't apply to you and the way you live, there's going to be other things of value for you in this episode. But I know in the United States, we live at breakneck speed. And we do not take time to slow down, to breathe, and to ask what we need. Sometimes we think it's selfish to say, what do I need? But the reality is, the greatest commandment that Jesus tells us, this is the greatest commandment, is to love the Lord your God and to love your neighbor as you love yourself. And we so often skip over the loving ourselves part, feeling like it's selfish, like slowing down and taking a breath and resting and pondering what we need is not necessary and it's selfish. But I really wonder this, do we avoid slowing down and breathing more deeply and asking what we need? Because we're so busy, or is it because we're avoiding the ache, the pain, the grief and sorrow that we feel because we, our families, the world around us is so broken, and it's painful to consider that. It's painful to slow down enough to feel those painful feelings. And if you're struggling with shame because of your unwanted sexual behavior, or with pain and confusion and disorientation after betrayal, I want you to know that you are not alone. These feelings of shame and disorientation and grief and fear, these are all normal human responses to these struggles. I want to offer you some hope, and yet I wish there was a way to make the process of healing from these struggles quick and easy. Like, follow this 3-step formula and you're gonna be okay. But these are very deep and complex struggles, betrayal and unwanted sexual behavior both. They both require very different paths to healing. And it can be very confusing to know who to trust when you don't even know if you can trust your spouse. For betrayed partners, many of us wonder how we could even ever trust ourselves when we had no idea this was going on. Just know that if you're struggling with how could I ever trust myself, my spouse, God, that struggle it makes sense, and you're not alone. As we head into a new year, so many people around us are going to be making New Year's resolutions and setting goals. And I just want to put this out there that if you're thinking, like, my goal is to not die from this pain, like, you're not alone. There is no way to heal from betrayal, to heal from unwanted sexual behavior without experiencing some pain. And really, it's a part of the process. God created pain as a signal that something's wrong that needs our attention. People with leprosy, part of the problem with leprosy is that it deadens the nerves. And so if you were to step on a nail or cut your hand, you wouldn't even know because you wouldn't feel the pain. Pain in our bodies, pain in our souls is actually an important signal that God allows to show us something's wrong, something needs our attention. So before you make any New Year's resolutions, what I want to encourage you and challenge you with is this. What if this new year, it's not a goal to stop acting out sexually, if you're the one struggling with unwanted sexual behavior, or to save your marriage if you're the one that's dealing with betrayal? What if your goal is something simpler and smaller, something more manageable, and something you could do right now and each day? What if your resolution was, I am going to start listening to my body and asking myself what I need?